Hello and welcome to Role Playing Public Radios. This is our second part of our Delta Green Impossible Landscapes post-mortem because we were just a tiny bit interrupted last time.
Yeah, I'll go ring the doorbell for the continuity. There we go.
Yeah.
You can understand someone rang your doorbell and then killed you, but then you just woke up and you're good. Yeah, and we can
no consequences.
Yeah. So this pause, I wonder. I do want to ask all of you if any of you had a chance to look at the book, but I do want to mention there were a couple ideas that I had forgotten that I want to mention first, because before we pick up with we finished session 12, so we need to start with session 13. First one to mention my experience is playing the Dorchester House playtest when Dennis ran it at Gen Con with Thad and Faye. Were you there too?
That was you, me, Thad, and Caleb, I think.
Yep. And so
different.
It was different. Well, here's the thing. I think what happened was, I remember it's on the Dennis's Patreon somewhere, on the Delta Green Patreon, that I thought I'd cracked the code because I figured I closed my eyes and would reach out. And
I remember this. Yeah.
There was something about like me not look like things weren't there unless I closed my eyes, and then I could like grab objects or do things. And I thought I'd just crack the code on how this whole thing worked. And then now reading the campaign, Dennis was just using the corruption rules and the whole yes-anding of corruption, which is like, Carcosa shapes to your thoughts. So if you think it works that way, yes, it does. And so I thought I was figuring it out, but no, Dennis was like, yeah, sure, whatever you say, buddy.
God, it's such like evil yes and is such a great move. That's like that. Well, I mean, that's also like in Caleb's thing in God's Teeth, the one with like the different reality bubbles. I forget what it's the name of it.
Picky Eater.
Yeah, Picky Eater. Thank you. Like that same sort of like just evil yes and is such a great way to fuck with players. I love it so much.
Yeah.
In the context of King in Yellow, it's especially good because it's very much simulating like a psychotic episode. You think you have it figured out. You do not. You like think that you are in control of things. You've got it all clicking together. More lost than everybody else.
In reality, you're out here castaining all over the place. Yeah,
exactly.
Just been kicked in the head by a horse, metaphorically or real.
Repaired my reputations until I castained.
Yeah. I also want to mention something from my session 0 notes, because I wrote down. Let's see here. So Faye, you wrote that they're unremarkable bonds with the exception of Puchimka, your kid.
Puchimka.
Yeah. The kid that's getting professional. My thoughts are this kid is from the mission that went tits up. And so what I put down was either this kid is a person that shouldn't exist from some sort of cult fuckery, like a homunculus or pseudo-human from an alternate history or something. Ultimately, so obviously if the kid is corrupted, then reality is rewritten to make it a marionette made by Faye's PC. That's what everyone remembers. Change the history. So like that was because there is this part, once you've escaped from the Dorchester House, there are special rules that say if the players make contact with their bonds, here's what happens. Guess what? It's never good. And so I got to reference that a bit, I think.
I think there was a marionette or like a doll or something left on the kitchen table, wasn't there?
Well, I called back home and there was a babysitter there and she was like, yeah, your daughter's doing great. But she was like being a little weird about it. And I was like, okay, this is just turn on the video. Let me see my fucking daughter. And it was just a doll of Puchimuchka. And she was like, yeah, you remember you made this doll? And then I did not take it well.
And there are so many worse things that could happen, because if you had all been like, oh god, I gotta contact my wife, I gotta contact my parents or whatever, it's just It's just bad. Like there's a lot of things about how the world collapses around
Thankfully,
you.
we're a bunch of damaged and isolated people.
But like Yersinia was constantly like, you should talk to your family. Go get your family. Like, talk to them. Get them safe.
Yersinia was a perfect vector for all this. Like,
so Yersinia is like, Yersinia was my attempt at making a character that would do well in this campaign.
you did, kind of.
And I didn't think that she would do this well. Her entire thing is being an obsessive compulsive cryptographer who is going to destroy herself on the King in Yellow, with the added bonus that she has like a great deal of care for her family and will extend that care to people she's close to. So like with Ryan, I think there was a scene where Yersinia was like, you should really call your family and make sure they understand that you might be going away.
Yep.
Because like Yersinia at that point was like, okay, these are co-workers, but we're a family here. Not quite that dark, obviously. But we're starting to get fond of everybody. Good. Did you end up?
I don't think I ever did.
No, you didn't.
I was just like, shit's happening to me.
Ross
I don't
was
want
like
my
sitting on
family
the edge of the
involved.
seat.
Oh no, I was watching like a hawk for any of you to make contact with your bonds, because there are so many great things. Let me just it's on page 264 of the book if you want to look at it. But like one of the ones I liked was called Stand-In, where you call them on the phone and then something's off about their voice, and then they hear someone whispering to your bond as you're talking to them on the phone, and then if you meet them in person, it is clearly not their bond. They're the same age, build, ethnicity, and mannerisms. They know all they should and feel towards the agents like the bond would, but they are definitely not the same person.
It's a fucking understudy.
Yeah.
They get great valued.
A successful human check indicates the person is reciting lines as if from a script.
Oh God.
So... but if you kill them, it becomes the real bond. Like,
of course.
Yeah. So
then it was just you.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have been a very real thing that could have happened to Jurgen.
God.
Yeah.
It would have happened to any of you. Like, something
well,
like
I mean,
that.
Jurgen's response, correct me if I'm wrong, would have been, if there's an imposter.
I killed this person.
Decent odds that's what would happen. Yeah.
So like that was one of the things I was really keyed up. I was just like, a lot of them, this campaign was for me listening to you and reacting to what you were saying and what you were theorizing. And I think that's sort of the brilliance of this campaign. The strength of it is that the GM has to get this feedback from the players unknowingly, right? Like, you don't know that you're
ratting on ourselves.
Yeah, you're ratting on yourself. That's a good way of putting it.
You did it really well. I think that like there's something to be said there about being an active listener and responding to the players, but not letting them catch on that you are actively listening to like just what they're doing. That sounds like it would be really fucking tough.
Yeah,
thumbs up for evil masterminding.
Yeah, because again, like I had to, like, with that session 0, it all came down to that, just knowing your characters very well and like figuring out what would respond to you, what would respond to them, and what would work and what wouldn't.
There was a point where the lady firefighter from the hospital was in the hotel or whatever, and Ryan was just like, "No, don't need to know anything. Don't care. Bye." Like, no.
Yeah.
God, on the point of Ryan, I think it's your son was a firefighter.
Yeah.
And there were so many close brushes with him getting involved in this shit. And I cannot believe that your son made it out unscathed, because there were so many like, oh yeah, that was the warehouse that your son went to deal with. Or like, God.
Let that be a lesson to you players. Be estranged from your families.
Save them. Just the only way to
save them. Yeah.
Yeah, Maddy was the best player in that regard, because I was just dangling so much bait in front of them. Nope, not gonna touch that. Not gonna yank on that thing that's labeled me. Like, yeah.
Ryan.
This is for Ryan.
Straight man.
Yeah.
Ryan is the straight man in a failed marriage and sees a bad thing and is like, that's a bad thing. I don't want to deal with that.
Don't like that.
Just walk away from your problems. If it sucks, hit the bricks.
Yeah, hit the
You're a
bricks.
king if you're quick.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh god. So yeah, the session 12, as we mentioned, like sort of ends with the transition into hotel, right? Like that's where you do the whole static agent thing, getting chased by them, and you wind up in the hotel, and then session 13. You're at the hotel, which is a great.
It had an automat, and everything was fine.
Oh yeah, no, I love the aesthetic of it. I definitely, if I had like RPPR luxury unlimited budget, I'd be like, I would license the caretaker and just loop that shit everywhere at the end of time. Because that is pretty much perfect for it. But in terms of corruption, here's what I have. Just a lot of pluses, only one negative. +1 Jurgen for posing for a doll. Again, the elevator operator. The whole about him like posing, that was my addition. The guy had a huge collection of dolls, but I was like, well, he's got to make them, right? So he needs people to pose for him.
Nice.
And I have one. I don't remember the fucking sommelier in the room. The whole illusions. That was fun. Because I
got the cigarette burn myself out of a happy life. It was a good time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I actually did not know who was going to go in to clear that room because being pulled in. And so I had Yersinia bombing mission. If you went in there, you would have been at the mission briefing for the bombing. Let's see here. Jurgen, of course, was the briefing for the Ghoul Hunt mission. Ryan was also the briefing for the Ghoul Hunt mission with Amanda, Ryan, and Frank. And then Marley hostage negotiation briefing. So all of them would have been a mission briefing. And I figured that was a good way to rewind it. And see if you wanted to just stay in that nice, comforting illusion. I could change everything by going back in time. Just pick differently, not go Delta Curve.
Do it.
Yeah.
What would have happened if we would have stayed in there? Like how long and what would have happened?
It's a game over for your character. They just never come out.
Ooh.
So I don't think it specifies that they're dead. It could just be you just go through in a parallel.
They just leave the stage.
Yeah, they just stick with shareware New Game Plus and are never seen again.
Let's see here. Yeah, it is. It's I can't quite find it right now. It is in the third chapter, but they have a lot of sub chapters.
I don't know.
Here it
how to
is.
Spell sommelier.
Cleaning house. Here we go. Those that step in the room are subjected to disorientation and psychic attack. They find themselves somewhere they were previously, as if the entirety of the events that led up to the hotel never happened. Perhaps they're in an early operation or a more comfortable situation. If the player says the agent tries to resist falling into the groove, agent loses 1/1d10 sanity from the unnatural. Those who succeed vanish from the illusion and lose 1 corruption. Those who fail remain in the illusion and gain 1 corruption. Furthermore, their sand rolls to resist the illusion are now at a penalty of -20. They fail this 3 times, or who do not resist at all, are consumed by the room and are perhaps cast into another timeline or another Earth, forever lost. It's a pretty fucking lethal thing.
Although that does seem like it, like with the penalty, it would be difficult, but not impossible to wake up out of that beforehand. But yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, it's very So Ryan, of course, but it doesn't specify exactly what happens if 2 agents go in at the same time. So, but I think if one agent does that, they clear the room. It's cleaned. It's no longer a threat. So I just figured since Ryan did it, then Jurgen gets to succeed on that. So, and then of course Yersinia summoned up 2 more demons, Burr and Furcus. For I don't remember what reasons they were. Yeah, I did.
The plan.
All part of the plan. Yeah. Any thoughts on the hotel? Because this was a session where you were really.
This was the session where we what the thing that sticks out to me most about the hotel was when we started to realize how time didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And so the consequences of us slipping up and like trying to pay attention to time and then realizing that like a week had passed and like losing our minds that way was great.
One of my notes is just, oh, Ross isn't saying the date anymore.
Yeah.
What do you mean? It's today.
Yeah, they do have something in here about like how time. Yeah, that's actually in the book too about how time is all fucky in here. It is quite good. Yeah, one thing is also in the hotel you can meet anyone in the campaign. You can have characters from previous chapters or things that are not mentioned. So that's why I had the World War II private in there as the person who treated whoever got shot. I think that was Marley.
It was me and Ryan both got shot.
Was the hotel? Was the hotel when you started being like, you walk down the hall and it takes about 100 years, and then you go down to the that was so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is you're very close to the center now, so things are getting extremely surreal and weird. Yeah, you just really ramp it up. But like, you can just get trapped there. It's not the worst. You have unlimited food. You have nice,
you get the Leica cigarettes from the automat, and we're all fine.
Yeah.
I was very pleased with that.
That was good.
Yeah, and it's also the closest to like say like the back rooms and shit like that too, right? Like all the basements with the arbitorium and the drowning room and the marionette ballroom. I did have a thing note. If any of you wanted to find a particular thing, it would be held by the marionette. And obviously, if you pull it out from the marionette, it would have like come to life and tried to kill you.
Don't want to know what the marionette does either.
Yeah, or take your place. And then we get into the Whisper Labyrinth, which obviously, boy, that was a fun, just a fun time.
Things started going real bad, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sorry, it's also wild that one of the early pieces of evidence that we found was a map that would have led us through the Whisper Labyrinth if we'd remembered we had it. It's so evil.
I was very happy you let me have the canary.
Oh yeah.
Canary's good.
I mean, again, it's just a good idea. It's like, oh yeah, that sounds fun. Let's just respond, listen to the players, let them have what they want. Yeah.
So what was the fucking deal with the room full of baby teeth?
There's a couple ties in that thematically. Darabandi kills children, right? Like he was a killer, a serial killer of children. So there's that theme, and I think I think there's some implication in the book that it's all part of this, like the Castaigne, who gets the throne of America, the dynasty of America. So like killing potential heirs
stuff.
Yeah. The other link is that the Barbus, the guy who invites you to the second chapter, right? Like if you observe him long enough, he eats little things from a silver case that he carries around, and they look like Tic Tacs or something from a distance, but those are just like the teeth
nice.
that he got from this room.
So that rules.
Yeah,
that's awful.
Altoids.
Yeah,
I hate it. That's great.
Yeah, there's a lot of like links between early stuff and later stuff. Like, oh yeah, this thing, you'll find it in the last chapter. In fact, there's something you can get from the McAllister apartment that if you carry it the entire campaign, you can give it to Ambrose in Carcosa, and he'll be very happy. There's like an
really just chomping on a tin of content warnings the whole time.
The Whisper Labyrinth section in the book is very brief, so that you just kind of have to figure out like. It's kind of again one of these sort of blank areas the GM kind of has to fill in. So,
but I mean, it's also sort of like it's meant to be filled in by the road you've taken to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I feel like it's like a canvas that should like it seems like it'd be intimidating to fill, but also like if you've been paying attention to your players, it does seem like it's no,
100%. And I think that's why I obviously started with the lion because especially with Ryan's hacking of the lion. That was pretty fun. And so the Whisper Labyrinth, you're right, that it is the place to take stuff previously in the campaign and build it with that. And that's why I wanted to start the Whisper Labyrinth with. I didn't want to put the lion in the hotel because that's a little abrupt for it. But like the
hotel's supposed to be threatening in a much more abstract way.
But it's subtle too, right? It's like everyone's smiling and polite up front, but they'll stab you in the back.
Yeah. I think it's kind of fun to have such an intricately structured, dense campaign book, and then near the end there's just this part where it's like, fuck it, whatever, get weird with it, we're giving you permission.
Yeah, very much so. So I was very happy since you all responded so strongly to the lion, and with Ryan's successful hacking of it, I had to put it back in the Whisper Labyrinth. So that was a lot of fun.
I mean, also like meeting the gas mask guy before he was gas mask guy was
that's
a nice
yeah,
touch.
that's great.
Like, oh, it's this guy. Oh man,
yeah, that was a lot.
Yeah, I got the idea for that because of Yersinia, actually, because
For me?
yeah, because you were like, I want to be the thing that stops the king in yellow. I want to be
you want to be the inoculation.
Yeah.
I was trying to install myself as the kinder, gentler static protocol.
Yeah, and I was like, well, you can see. Go ahead and fucking meet who they were before they were the
more
gas
women
mask.
static
Yeah.
agents.
Yeah. How dare you?
Yeah. Okay, you're right. So I just want to show you, like, you've seen the end of the road. Here's how he began, and like, okay, you want to take the exact same road. Cool. All right. We'll do that. Yeah, the Clockwork World was fun. And that was just, oh yeah, there's a bunch of Clockwork shit we haven't even touched. And then Amanda Fitzroy, I wanted to put in there because this was how I was trying to backshoe a bit of the mall ambush in there, because I like the idea of it, but I wanted to have like, at least for you to see how'd you want to like respond to the person who was your handler, got you all recruited in Delta Green. Like, have that final confrontation.
Violently.
Yeah, no shit. I think that was because I was genuinely curious to see how you'd react, and
she certainly made her feelings clear.
I think part of it is also, for me, the Whisper Labyrinth was cutting ties with the normal world, right? Because you're going into Carcosa, this fantastic realm, and so just sort of confronting those things. And yeah, but it's a, there's no map of it. There's no it's technically a dungeon, but I was like, you either find it or you don't. And yeah, we moved on into. Oh yeah, so +1 corruption for Yersinia for finding the pattern in bottles, +1 for summoning another demon, Yersinia, Glacia, and +1 for Marley for dying and coming back.
Yeah, those two happen to be related.
Yeah,
that'll happen if you ain't careful. Like,
oh yeah, we also had to confront Barbas, who was fun, and yeah, good times. But yeah, let's take a look here. Yeah, so then we get into session 15. You're in Carcosa. And let's see here. +1 corruption for all for getting the boat. +1 corruption for Yersinia for talking to the family. +4 Yersinia for using Citri, Stolas, Asmodee, and Botus.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's my girl.
Yeah.
That was the final points of the plan. It was all necessary. I know I'm not a good person. I know I won't survive.
It's fine. Just sacrifice yourself. Yeah, sacrifice yourself on the altar. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. +1 for Ryan for using the mirror power very creatively, I might add. Yeah.
The blood mirror.
The blood mirror. Yes.
Nice.
Fucking ruled.
Yeah. And yeah, so like this is like, now it's become something entirely different. It's no longer been like Delta Green, right? You're in this weird, fantastic realm with a mirror city beneath the lake that's at war.
I really liked the executed family, by the way. They were fun.
Oh yeah, that's in the book. That was too good not to use.
Yeah.
There's some encounters I didn't want to use, but like, yeah, I was very, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that you didn't like, either you chose not to go there or I chose not to throw it in as an encounter. But yeah, I used the executed family, the gallery, the nest. The Price Master. We always love the Price Master.
There's our boy.
I got to see the real Price Master, sorta.
Yeah. So yeah, the Price Master was a performance art piece that was shown on public access TV in Denton, Texas, I believe.
Yep.
If you do not link a video in the description, Ross, you are doing a disservice to the listener.
It's true. I will. So I saw that video like months before we actually got to that, and I was like, I need to put him, like, where would he fit in this campaign?
It
goes
does
somewhere.
have a powerful Carcosa vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I would have never guessed that wasn't just a thing from the book. It fits so well.
Yeah.
Perfect vibes.
Yeah.
he's going in mine if I run this for people in real life. Like he's going.
I feel like Price Master is gonna leave a mark on everything moving forward. Like that's just too good. But also, like, what I love about the Price Master interaction is it showed that all of us were completely unaware that while we were close, we were not close enough. Like we were getting ready for the fucking masquerade, and oh right, the war zone. Okay,
yeah, you can hear the explosions and the gunfire. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but you know.
Oh, I've written down something Rob said. Hugging is for when our friends aren't being shot at.
Aw.
Look,
I mean, it's very true.
Yeah, Marley has very bad priorities. That is a clear marker of her character past a certain point.
Decent life advice, I guess.
Yeah, I did. I love the Price Master. He could have fit in the Night World of Dorchester House too, but I wanted to leave him for Carcosa. And just kind of like as a kind of also like if you want anything, sure, yeah. There's also kind of like just what do you want? Okay, yeah, you want a costume, we'll get you a costume.
What was your plan for like you offer us a price and it's like $300,000? Was there a way we could feasibly pay that you had in mind, or like?
I mean, to be clear, like we theoretically could have checked our pockets and maybe found it if we expected it to be there.
You could have summoned a demon.
Ooh, there's one.
Yeah. Also, Ryan could have opened a mirror somewhere. Yeah.
Okay. That makes
causes
sense.
and solutions to all of life's problems.
Yeah.
Summoning a demon.
Yeah.
This is my money demon. They're very helpful.
Yeah. Faye, did you look through the whole list of demons, by the way?
I did after the fact. After the fact.
Any ones you wish you had summoned that you missed?
I can't remember which one it was. It's
there are 72.
There's 72. Well, do they have all 72 in the book? There's like a couple missing that I thought.
Well, they might have changed the names too, but there's a lot. There are dozens. Yeah.
Well, one of them was like a very insidious demon, which is you summon the demon, and then you round a corner or whatever, or you just happen to notice there's a girl there skipping rope. You can ask the girl any question and she'll answer you with absolute certainty. But there's also a triangle on the ground nearby. If you tell her to get into the triangle, she'll freeze up, panic, and you'll realize that everything she told you outside of the triangle was a lie. And then you can ask her questions with which she will answer with absolute truth. So like, that's one of those shoot yourself in the foot demons that would have been really fun. But I think I got most of the ones that I wanted to do. I wanted the never age, I wanted sanity, and I wanted the fucking sanity combination was a goddamn, I don't know what
unlimited willpower.
Unlimited willpower and being able to spend willpower instead of sanity so that I could gaze upon the face of the Yellow King without a mask.
Yeah, no, that was extremely powerful. Kind of. I really love that because every single demon has a unique mechanical thing. Like, no demon is this. Every demon is unique, and everything has a different shtick. Like, there's similar shticks. Like, some hurt people, some give you information, a few heal, blah blah blah. But nothing is exactly the same. And they all, So, I really kind of want to riff on that idea and do something else with all those demons because it's just it's so good.
Yeah, there are all 72, by the way. I just counted.
Yay. Nice. So we're going through the city. Then you get into the war zone. I didn't want to get in at this point in the campaign, get into like a gunfight or anything like that, unless you all wanted to. But I did want to hint at the ghouls being around because of Rob getting them infected with Carcosa.
Sorry, guys. Oops.
Gary, no.
Yeah.
It's gonna have to be a big my bad on that one, Deuterino.
Oops, all Haster.
Yeah.
I really loved, speaking of the war zone, I liked the artist studio part because it reminded me of that's from one of the stories in King in Yellow. I forget the name, but the one where the concoction that like turns you to stone.
Yeah. That's a story I remember too. It's like he's doing it. I forgot what it's called, but it's from the original King in Yellow anthology. And
my collection's upstairs, and I forget the title, but it is one of my favorite ones in that.
Yeah, no, it's extremely good.
Well, it's also great because like there's this the implication of like, yes, I will trick my beloved to keep them here while I go off to the fight, and it's like, I've never heard of that before. Tell me more about lying.
Yersinia Marley. Yup.
Tell me more about lying to your partner.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even get because I ran that pretty much straight from the book.
Because that hit me like really heavily in the feels, considering how we were playing.
Oh no!
What a whimsical high concept thing that doesn't strike close to home at all.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't sure how the timing was, so I already had notes for the Masquerade and the Silent City. I wanted you. I was just like, oh yeah, you all need to get in the Clockwork Factory and the Gallery of Shades. Screw you. Like, I want to make sure your costumes got shot up. Fuck off. You need to get new ones.
Yeah.
And I had such a cool costume from the get-go.
Yeah.
I'm glad though, because the costume that I got ruled.
Yeah. Let's
got to shuck off the FBI and address myself in the raiments of the only person who matters.
Yeah, having to do our invitations again was fun.
Mm-hmm. And that because the thing is, that's one of the few things in the book. The book, I couldn't find exactly where canonically you're supposed to get the invitations. It just says you need invitations. So I flipped through. I couldn't find it. Like the PCs get invitations now, or like there is that like letter Abigail sent you after you escaped Dorchester House, but it doesn't say that's like the invitation. It's because it's written differently. It's a letter, not a maybe I just missed something. But anyways, it worked out.
A good little objective.
Yeah. Well, it's also like by giving you the invitations as soon as you got to Carcosa, and then all the NPCs start asking for them. It's like, well, that's a game. Now it's the mission. I got to get the invitations across the city without getting fucking killed or having it stolen from me.
I like the implication that the invitations want to be seen, like that's or various other ways that they sort of cause trouble.
That was a fun little thing where it's like, they'll just peek out of your pocket to cause you a problem.
They want to cause problems on purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the Clockwork Factory again. I just love it's just a nice set piece. Like, oh yeah, by the way, here are all the props of everything you've been doing this entire time, the McAllister building and everything. And Ambrose, he's just a nice old man.
I love how nice Ambrose is. That was charming.
Yeah, and that's how he is in the I did not change his personality for this campaign. That's just how he's written. There is a postcard you can find of him in the McAllister apartment. I didn't give you that one because again, there's so many fucking things you can give them. There's like over a dozen different like clues. But yeah, and also the pendant, you can find the pendant in somewhere in the McAllister building from chapter 1 in 1995. And you hold on to it the whole time and show it to him. He just weeps with joy. He's so happy he got his pendant back. But he's already helpful, so you don't need to do that. But
it's just one of those nice things.
Mm-hmm. And then you had to go to Gallery of Shades to get your invitations fixed and get proper costumes and everything. And then, of course, Yersinia is the one targeted by the Gallery of Shades for being hypnotized, essentially, by it.
My proudest moment of just like, well, it's your turn to take the drugs now, sweetie. It's fine.
That was really slick, honestly. I didn't even see that coming.
I felt so good about it. Oh.
That was really slick.
Yeah, because I think if you go to Zero Sand in the Gallery of Shades, just a bunch of costume people come up, grab you, and take you away, and you want to go with them, and there's just nothing you can do. So, and because of your invitations and costumes, it's easy to get in. There are a couple NPCs you can just mug, essentially, waiting in line and get their invitations. Then we get to the Masquerade, which is obviously Jorgen, Marley, Ryan get the Melonia, which is +2 corruption to each, and I have as my final corruption notes, and I of course added the yellow sign New York Times performance art piece to let you know of your lasting legacy on the world. But then we get to the Masquerade room. I kind of wish all of you had a chance to talk to Abigail, but
that was a trap.
Yeah,
I think Ryan talking to Abigail was like really choice. That
was very nice,
really
wonderful.
One.
Yeah, because Ryan, it works because the sort of vexing thing for me is that it is Abigail will just tell you anything. She knows everything. She will tell you the truth about everything. She wants to help you. She will give you it's literally you as the GM can tell your players do this to get the best inning or whatever inning you would. And Ryan's like, no questions. No, I don't know. I'm fine. Bye. I don't want to know anything.
Yeah, there's a really touching moment about like,
are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Yeah.
And your father loves you.
Yeah.
It was a super emotional moment.
That was so good. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the interesting thing about Carcosa. It is obviously horror and dark and violent, but there is this sort of like there is a sense of warmness or like that is totally absent elsewhere in Delta Green, that like some characters and some things are nice to you and like or kind to you.
Well, because it's more decadence than pure nihilism.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, the whole reason we got into this mess is because we were trying to find her. I'm like, well, I want to know, she doing all right? Like, you gonna be all right, buddy? How you doing? All right.
Yeah, I like that you didn't resent her for it. Like, you did this to me. Why? Like, there are things in like Impossible Landscapes that can happen to you that aren't like the fate's worse than death. You could just be stuck. You know, like the bookstore the bookshop seller, he's just there forever. But like, there's worse fates than being stuck in a bookstore for all eternity.
Yes, most of them.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on for any of you on the masquerade, the ballroom scene? Because obviously that is sort of the big finale before we get to the epilogue.
I kind of knew that it was just gonna be like a prop, but when the bomb just went like, pew, and like confetti, little bang flags, like I was like, oh man.
I like it didn't matter that it definitely wasn't going to be anything that saved us. I wanted to be there to see it.
Yeah, that's actually, I borrowed that. So when Yersinia was like, I want to make a deal with the demon to be the anti-Carcosa fighter. I'm like, okay, well, there's a thing in Carcosa where an anarchist gives you the bomb to take there, and then it turns into a confetti bomb. I'm like, okay, I guess I can repurpose that. So we just
glorious.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that Ryan failed his humor check on like, it'll be right behind you after you leave, guys. Because it's like, all right, well, I would believe them then. Because had I not believed them and knew they were staying, like Ryan would have been fighting to stay because Marley is also one of Ryan's bonds. It's like, we can't.
That was such a good scene. The way so there was a sorry to butt it, but there was a specific line that Jurgen had, which was I turn around and I frame the way that Marley and Yersinia look at this moment in my mind. And I thought that was such a good, like...
Yeah, that was lovely, Rob.
Well, because he knew that he was going back and they weren't. And he was sad about it, but he knew it wasn't his place to do anything. Like, so the best thing he could do for his friends was remember them like that.
You will remember them forever until you can no longer remember who you are.
Yeah,
maybe even after that, like, you
just
remember
a contextless image in your mind boiling up every century or so. Yeah.
And I can imagine. Weirdly, whenever I help this one Delta Green agent.
I can also imagine Jurgen the Ghoul just carving or painting something in the sewer somewhere. Suddenly a very skilled artist.
There's like fresco art down underneath the city somewhere.
Yeah.
It was gratifying to get to have my character's ending quote from The Thing, the superior possible last like spoken line, which is "See what happens."
Yeah. God. And I think I've mentioned what would happen if you'd all like your work. I had, two endings in mind for each character. Did I mention that already?
Not sure.
I think you've talked. I think you talked. I don't know if you talked about it on recording, but I.
Okay. Yeah. So, if Jurgen escapes, which he did, he became the ghoul in the sewers alone. But if Jurgen stayed to fight the king, he would have woken up in a trench led by General Stephen Alziz, of the Black Wind Army, and you're the first to charge against the Ghoul Brigade of the Yellow King. So you would have been Jurgen fighting Gary for eternity in the trenches. And as a pawn of Nyarlathotep, fighting against the King in Yellow. So if Ryan says, that would be basically the sort of like written bad ending of the book, the consumption, which is Ryan is put on stage and he reenacts everything on stage, and so he just goes through this loop of like everything. The ballroom become like, you just see stage walls and stagehands start setting up props. They start handing you, people start feeding you lines from off stage. You have like the other Delta Green agents, and and you're just there. You're a part of the show now.
Yay!
And let's see here. And obviously we know Marley and Yersinia both stayed. And so they become people who live with each other and then hunt each other and kill each other. And also,
good ending. That's a good ending, right? Is that
you also kill a lot of other people, and you get killed a lot too. Like,
Ross, there aren't other people. Don't be ridiculous. There's just Yersinia.
Mm-hmm. But Marley can escape to the night floors or the bookstore. If Marley escapes, Noya calls her. She can't find Yersinia and is worried. You two can search for Yersinia but can't find her. But you can live on the rest of your life with your daughter. Just have a normal life. Yersinia cannot escape. If she tries, she fails. So if you tried to escape Yersinia, if you tried to like not be the killer, I would have said, okay, all the demons, the Arsgoshi appear, bow before you, and you become one of the demons.
Sick.
Nice.
Yeah. Probably would have been replacing Dahlin or something like that. And you just would have been like something, going out and being
spoilers for Hereditary.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. And so those are the two endings I had. It was all basically the campaign's main dramatic question is, are you going to fulfill the purpose that is written for you, or are you going to fight against fate, essentially? And if you fulfill your purpose, you can escape and live out the rest of your life. If you reject it, though, you are destroyed one way or the other. Like it is sort of a Greek tragedy, like they can't. Do you have the hubris to fight against the very gods? Is sort of my interpretation of it. But that is the mainstay of the campaign. There is another ending though. If you get the author's bottle, then if you have the bottle and do not give it to the author, if you destroy it, it destroys the time loop, the universe, and the king. After the universe is destroyed, the players can rebuild the universe, usurping the king's role, a la The World Without Doors. Or the players could use the bottle themselves, becoming the new author. So, so either way, you become one of the other characters in this loop. Like you're just creating a new cycle. So, that's sort of the main what we did. But there's a lot of other stuff we missed, obviously. What other things have we not mentioned yet?
I just like the amount of skills that we failed and then improved on over the sessions. Like I started with a 60 in alertness, I ended with an 85. Like
holy shit.
Yeah.
I started with an 80 in first aid and ended with a 90, and I think I was still fucking up first aid checks.
Like Ryan and first aid and Marley and human, it really was incredible.
God.
Like the numbers were so good, but like clearly improvement was prized over success because
I cannot believe how just awfully unlucky you got rolling your best skills.
Just like I
started with human at 80. That was my human.
And you succeeded like 4 or 5 times in the whole thing.
And by the end, my human was 90.
God.
And by the way, some of those improvements I got 0 on. So I also failed some because I kept track.
Oh my god.
D4 -1. So
that -1, it gets you sometimes.
I love that because it led to such like interesting things, because I think for me the pivotal moment for that was being able to, like, now that I've run a Delta Green campaign, like there's these interaction with the rules I'm not familiar with, and like the whole fucking first aid thing, like causing Rob's, Jurgen to pass out and need hospital treatment, like which led to such a
turning point.
Yeah,
that was such a good turning point.
Yeah,
It's very fun that happened.
Yeah.
Goddamn scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing.
So I do have a question for Thad and Faye. So how do you think each of you, like I only gave very brief, vague descriptions of the ending of this loop of like you two live together in love, then one of you goes out to, on a mission on an opera or whatever, and then the other one is called out to go hunt them down. So like Yersinia's, given a mission to go out and kill some people because they're Red the King in yellow, right? Like to go plant a bomb somewhere. Is that how I pictured it? But like, and both of you would work alone, obviously, I think, not like with a team. But yeah, how would you picture it? Like, would this be like, does Marley put on the mask and it's like a Giallo, like a black gloved killer, or is it just long range?
Giallo all the way. That's
a look of unhinged delight sparked in Thad's eyes for the audio listener.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, yeah. So Faye, what about you? Any particular stylistic choices?
I mean, I'm obviously a horror fan, and I fucking love Italian movies like Suspiria and all that kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
But so like I haven't thought about it too much, to be honest, though. My initial plan was to survive the fucking thing and then use what was her name? I don't remember what her name was. One of the demons that can make people forget a specific thing. To just like
Gap, I think.
Gap, to burn out the memory of the play from people who were affected by it. But I think so, because I end up, being consumed by the play, probably what I'll end up doing is basically static protocol stuff, where, I just go into someone's house and smother them with a cloth full of chloroform or something.
I feel like that. Yeah, I don't know. I think personally, I think you'd be bombing people because that's like
the thing. That's my backstory.
Yeah,
because it's a way of making you suffer eternally.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because in my head I just. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
No, you go.
I was gonna say, like, in my head, I just see it as like an endless series of montages of horrible deaths, eventually including one another, and us, like one or the other dying in the other's arms eternally.
So
in
on
horrible
the note
ways.
of it being bombing, just a nice like little thematic point. If and when Marley would find Yersinia and kill her, it wouldn't be like, frustration or anger or betrayal. It would be relief that Yersinia experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And being killed or killing?
Being killed.
Being killed.
Okay, yeah.
Because now she doesn't have to do another bomb until the next time.
Yeah.
Until we forget ourselves and start again the next day.
Yeah, you'll just wake up somewhere else. So
next call comes in. Gotta go to work.
What does Marley feel when she kills Yersinia?
I imagine it's very much like she just loses herself in the moment, and like when she's the one who kills Yersinia, she just sort of after she shoots her is just like there watching this relief dawn on Yersinia's face, not understanding what's happening, and weeping as she loses her mind and wakes up in bed again. Like that's just constant, like completely
laying
unable
down
to cope.
next to the corpse like a loyal dog.
Yeah. Although I imagine sometimes it's her like cradling Marley's half blown up body and things going a different direction.
Exactly.
Yeah, I do think that King in Yellow does like to twist a knife, though. So I imagine every time, or maybe not every time, but pretty frequently, every time, or frequently when Yersinia bombs someplace, she sees a child rush in to the building, like as she sees,
Goodbye, Noya.
Yeah. Of course, Noya, the
she
adult,
chases a child in, rounds a corner. Marley sees the bomber run in, shoots her, and then horrible end.
Yeah. Well, there's also a lot of collateral damage, right? There's going to be a lot of like just other Delta Green agents and people getting murdered. It's a fun time for everybody. Yeah. Do you think Noya? Yeah, Noya's become a Delta Green agent, right? Is that?
Yeah, Noya's absolutely becoming a Delta Green agent because not just two, not just one, 3 of her moms disappeared under suspicious circumstances.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, because what a life.
Yeah, but if you had gone back, like if you had escaped, you could have kept Noya from Delta Green.
That's the thing. Yersinia
She's a grown woman. She makes her own choices.
Yersinia wanted Marley to go back, but knew she wouldn't.
Yeah. No, we're like, yeah, good. This is the good end, I assume. That's
yeah, of course.
So Maddy, what do you think? What else does fate have in store for Ryan?
God, I think he like tries to retire, but like he is still like going to the McAllister building, waiting for these 2 to come out because he expects them to come out at any point, and he knows time can be fucky. So he just keeps going back there and like checks in. Like every now and then we'll look up the residents of it. And, obviously never finds them. He also goes to that one wall where Gary said to leave the corpse. It doesn't open anymore, but he'll like try to knock on it and see if Jurgen is around. Never gets an answer. Like, he will try to move on, but never really managed to.
Okay, so he stays in New York City.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. Stays close by. Yeah, I can imagine one day Ryan when he's very, very old, going into the McAllister building, feeling like shit, and then just as he is about to die from old age, he just wanders into the night floors and finds everybody, and
we're waiting for you. What took you
so
long?
What are we doing? The end of The Shining now? Is that where
yeah. I mean,
that everyone's just clapping.
Yeah.
Quick, if Ryan's going back to the McAllister building like pretty frequently, I think that might be Noya Brina's in to Delta Green, because she'd be trying to track down, the trail that Marley and Yersinia followed, and would eventually discover, there's this place just north of us that they went to and was weird, and there's some strangeness around the news cycle for that period. Goes there, sees a weird old man outside who's staring at the building trying not to cry, and is like, maybe you should see what he does.
Yeah,
like his past is pretty damn public for doing weird shit, so...
oh god.
Paulie.
Yeah. No, that was the guy that you framed for that.
Yeah.
But there was the fucking who was it?
Body
Thad?
Snatcher?
Yeah.
you're gonna get body snatched by Old Man West. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yep. Holy shit, that's the Body Snatcher. I gotta take a selfie with him and post it on my Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, that's really cool.
Well, Twitter won't be around by the time she's.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's all
Blue Sky.
Blue Sky. Yeah, Blue Sky's gonna win, or not.
I mean, it's gonna lose less, is what it looks like.
No one wins.
Yeah,
that's true.
Social media of the microblog variety is over. Pour one out or laugh maniacally, whichever you prefer.
Jurgen, any thoughts on Jurgen the Ghoul's new life?
I mean, I figure to the extent that Jurgen still has agency, he would sort of haunt the footsteps of his prior life in a way, and just sort of try from the shadows to be keeping like Noya, his sister, Ryan, and Ryan's family safe from any fucked up shit that might come their way. Other than that, it's just, that's just the protect part, right? Protect, dark, death, eat, fight. Like he just ends up as like the animal.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I could see because we did have I did have you meet the other ghoul, right? The one in New Orleans who was looking for other ghouls.
Yeah, Marty.
Yeah, Marty. So you could. Do you think you find Marty, or does Marty find you?
Probably eventually.
All right.
About the time.
If they're interested, like I wouldn't. to another ghoul wouldn't be particularly hard to find. I assume that this like sentimental attachment to the human life is something that they have for a while, or at least some of them do for a while. So
Marty definitely has the ritual that lets him like magically become human or look human. Like the shadow still remains the same, but they otherwise look human. So they can
figure that out.
Yeah. So yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah.
I've actually got a question for post game Jurgen. I remember thinking that Jurgen breaking the bond with his nephew, it was incredibly tragic. Does that factor in at all to like ghoul Jurgen? Because I noticed you said that of the people he's protecting, the nephew, you didn't include the nephew in that list.
No, I didn't. Because that I consider that to have been a real cost that he paid. So
that's.
I think that he just sees that as his sister's pup. Like he doesn't have any emotional attachment to it, but he knows that she does. And so, like, it's like just a step above livestock that she would own or whatever.
Wow.
Like he wouldn't probably eat him, but like, and he wouldn't let something bad happen to him, but it wouldn't be out of like, it would all be displaced sentiment, right? It would all be secondhand.
Right. This is my sister's, not I care for this thing getting hurt.
No, it's like this is like my sister is the one who decides what happens to this, like not whatever else is going on.
So we may revisit these characters in a future game. I have something in the works, but we'll see how that pans out before I reveal anything. By the time you're listening to this podcast, that may already be out, in which case I'll link it in the show notes. But it's on the drawing table right now, on the drawing board right now. Do you? I guess the other thing is, do you think you would do anything different now, knowing what you know about your characters and like how the campaign is structured? Do you think was there like I should have done this? We should have tried this angle, or we could like, because I mean I was very satisfied with everything, but like obviously from my point of view, there's like, oh my god, there's all these other cool places they could have gone, and like there's some real fucked up shit they missed, But like, I don't know.
My answer is simple, like no, really, because like I wasn't really trying to do anything vicarious or whatever with Jurgen. I was just trying to like do a concept, which was like the bleak literary naturalism guy. It wasn't about making good choices. It was about making the choices that kind of person who'd led that kind of life would make and would be unable not to make.
Fair. Yeah.
Like, because honestly, like, it's the whole thing is kind of about being trapped in this like exotic causality that you don't understand. But like, then with Jurgen, there's an extra layer of like, no, like your own like upbringing and the person you are has already trapped you in something else that you also can't escape.
Yeah. But you get to see what it would have been like if you didn't have that for a brief moment before it's all pulled away again. Yeah. The tragedy of it all. Good point. Anyone else? Because I feel like it was a pretty optimal run in terms of like storytelling. It's not really a campaign like, aha, we won, we did it, we saved the day.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that like not knowing is what makes it work. Like it is, I would argue, very difficult to replay this campaign.
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't know. I am eternally grateful for Faye suggesting that we make Marley and Yersinia a couple, because good God,
oh, so good.
God, that was perfect.
I'm so glad you went along with that. And to piggyback off that, I don't really think I would do anything different. I think that it was a very compelling story, which is my ultimate goal. Whenever I do anything like this, is that like it should be entertaining to play and entertaining to listen to.
And everyone's story was so like all the characters' story arcs were satisfying in a like bittersweet, dark way, and also varied. Like they were different from one another. So like really, like I don't think that I've ever been in like a completed start to finish campaign with no cast turnover, where all the characters had like such a comprehensible story to them.
Yeah.
As far as I can recall, like really good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have got caught stealing the body, therefore making Ryan's entire life fall apart. So he's just a happy chap.
Okay,
Character arc,
listen.
fuck that. Everything goes well for me.
Sorry, Ryan, but you need to fuck up stealing that body because it was such a good
So
story
good.
element.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it really
no,
was.
I wouldn't change anything. Ryan did exactly what Ryan needed to do. It was very fun. It was also very fun, like, just to play the straight man bouncing off of, like, that chaos happening over here. Like,
And Ryan, of all fucking people, the straight man of the group, being the one who is famous for being fucked up. Right? Out of this group. Incredible.
yeah.
Yeah, art. That's just art. It's so good.
Yeah, because we have like the Master of Violence with Jorgen, then we have like the Master of like mystery solving with Yersinia, and then we have the good soldier Marley, and then there's Ryan,
Just a little guy.
just a little guy, yeah,
Ryan
Just a
from
little
New
guy.
York.
yeah.
What everyone knows about him.
Yeah.
Across the other side of the street.
God.
So, yep, that's security guard. He's always in this window. So
Oh
stupid.
my god.
Speed run your own,
awesome.
yeah. Let's speed run this whole thing again. Like, see if we can do it faster. See if we can get to Carcosa in 4 sessions.
Yeah, well, if you just have Ryan caught with a body in the McAllister, then you can clip straight through to
Yeah, yeah.
2015.
It allows you to long jump sequentially backwards over and over again up the stairs.
Okay, we get our briefing. All right,
Excellent.
we go to the McAllister building, set it on fire, drive to Boston immediately, kick the door into Dorchester House, and go to sleep. Wake up, find the clown, run from the clown. All right, now we're gonna no clip through the rest of this. Yeah. God. Yeah. So do you think any of you would play or run? Like, for me, like, I love surreal horror, this type of horror, but like, it's obviously very challenging. I had like a pre-written campaign with 360 pages of ideas to work with. So I don't know when I'd run it again, because it does I think require more preparation, because again, it's like it works best now. I really know it works best when it's based on the player character, right? Like, it's all personal and reflective.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and call it and say you're gonna have a goddamn hard time playing this campaign again without this casting a shadow on it.
Yeah,
because everything fell into place so well for the group.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think I would run it again. Yeah, that's true.
No, honestly, I feel cursed because I need more of this type of story. I need it.
Right?
I need to have it, and no one's giving it to me. Ross has stopped the supply, and so now I'm shaking in my basement.
Oh no.
Well,
I mean,
campaign, Ross.
I can't promise impossible landscapes, but I'll give you all something.
Excellent. Please, Rob, save me.
Yeah.
I think that was another thing, like, with this group of people, we were all like letting each other have moments to shine, which was really fun. Like,
yeah, and like setting each other up, I think. Like,
yeah.
Like, kind of seeing somebody going for something and be like, all right, here, stand on my back. Go ahead.
It's pretty cool playing role-playing games with a bunch of people who have had sex.
I mean, to be very serious, there is a book called My Lesbian Experience with Romance. And in it, the author, Nagata Kabi, talks about how sex is just an advanced form of communication. And if you aren't good at communicating, you aren't going to be good at sex. So
that's true.
If it's something that you have the capacity to practice, you'll become a better communicator.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So my joke, which I was kind of being serious about, like, we can actually be serious about. Cool. Nice.
Yeah. No. Listen, if you ever need someone to be like, well, there's literary precedent for this, that's me.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you're right. Like, role-playing is communication, right? Like, it is like literally communicating with other people and like creating the story from it, and playing a game at the same time. And a lot of people who are into role-playing games are so into the escapist power fantasy that they see it as a way to project or soothe their insecurities, right? Like,
so not an artistic interest in the form, like palliative interest in the form. Yeah.
Because I have in my past been someone who like accidentally spoiled other people's good time because I'm there to play a character and other people are there to do a power fantasy, and I'm like causing problems on purpose because it would make sense for my character to do this. And
well, I mean, there's also like the person who like caused problems on purposes. knowing when that is appropriate for a game and when it would enhance the story, and when is like, I'm going to kill the one person we need to do our mission or whatever. I'm going to ruin other people's fun. And like that, that sort of like communication, understanding other people, like is role playing is a very like it says paradox, right? Like role playing is actually a very, very social thing, and yet the people who are role players are often people who are terrible at social things. Are selfish. It's you have to be selfless to be a good role player. Like you can't be that selfish. Like you have to share. You have to give as well as take.
The hack for this is neuroatypicality.
Isn't that like the prisoner's dilemma or something? I can't remember the exact name of it. Where if you choose to save yourself, you all die or something. Or no, if you choose to save yourself, Thank you for having better memory than me.
Sorry.
Yeah, the best move is if you both say nothing and then you're both punished but more lightly. Whereas if you
And there's also the eating table in, I think it's I can't remember which religion.
I think it's like a Chinese folktale or something. Or Japanese
with the chopsticks.
Yeah.
Are we on the same? I'm surprised that you knew exactly where I was going with that.
Nerds.
But I think it's a Chinese folktale, like Ross was saying, where in heaven, everybody's got chopsticks that are super long and they feed each other, but in hell, everybody's chopsticks are very long and they can't feed themselves because they can't reach their mouth. So
it's the same table.
Exactly. You can't feed yourself, you must feed each other, but by that same note, someone else must feed you too.
I remember there was a moment in the family's house where like they had the bags over their head. You guys were getting changed, so you're having a conversation in the bedroom. And I was like, oh, this could be a moment for like Ryan to be like, okay, like get the fuck out. I interrupt into that for another comedic bit. And then like I was like, that was my initial thought of like, oh, this could be another like comedic moment. And your guys' conversation just went away. I'm like, I'm not interrupting this. Like, absolutely fucking not. This is not the time for it. Like, I don't need to be in the scene. I'm not being in the scene. The scene's beautiful without me. Like, just. I think that's that. Like a lot of us, set each other up, gave each other space, but like kind of caught on to what everyone else was doing. Like it was just nice,
Also, as like the perpetual GM of my sphere, to be a player character and at that a player character that doesn't speak very much was like lowering myself luxuriously into a scented jacuzzi. Like just the idea of like, no, you don't have to always talk. Like you can observe what's going on and add things when you feel like adding things. It was like it felt like cheating.
I think part of it, we really hit that sweet spot of like everyone wanted like to let other players have scenes at spotlight time because you were all fans of everyone else's when they Maddy, you're like, I could be in here and have the spotlight on me, but wait, no, I want to see I'm a fan of Marley and Yersinia having a dramatic moment. I will hang back so I can make that happen.
It's like, this isn't just an argument where we've been doing this bit. This is like a heart to heart when they finally have space alone. Shouldn't probably fuck that up.
Although I did love the bit of us fighting with you trapped in between. That was so
really
good.
Funny.
It was an excellent ongoing bit for sure.
I'm very glad I stuck to the Red Jaguar for the entire road trip section of the campaign, so you can have everyone just crammed in together. Good
also doubly
times.
funny.
Jurgen probably smelling fucking wild at that point.
Doubly funny about that is I did a little bit of research on Jaguars because why not? And they didn't have an SUV that fits the description of what we had until I think the demo model was in like September of 2015 at a show in Germany, and there wasn't an actual model on the road until like a year later.
So we got the demo.
So we had the most individual car that you could possibly have.
Amazing.
Well, I mean, in this loop, in the previous loop, it came out a year earlier. So
it's just a background thing I found extremely funny. It wasn't that you didn't do research about cars; it was that you setting up a very funny joke. Is how I read that.
I mean, I made up an entire fucking island, right? Island resort too.
Oh, I love the island. That was so good, especially
the island resort
leaving.
Was made up?
Yeah. I think I mentioned in the previous one, but yeah, like I took elements from another island and put it on the one that you went to, and like so I just changed things up a bit. Like,
You're really gonna make Jurgen kill a bunch of college kids, aren't you, Ross? I remember feeling that very distinctively. Like, oh man,
I think
Yeah,
you
we
said
are-
that too.
we are
That
the
was
slashers.
So funny.
Yeah. I'm just like, yeah, no. Obviously, I'm going to put some shit for you to deal with. It's just they're just college students. It's fine.
Well, it's also now I'm just flashing back to that episode again because there were so many moments that I loved. Like one was that Marley just got to choke out the judge and be like, "Okay, let's take the thing. We're done." And then also the like when we were leaving and we just saw the people lined up and like giving a bow. That was so
Oh my
good.
God.
Yes.
Oh.
So something I noticed in this campaign is like we all took it really slowly. Like we let things have space, let things breathe, and it kind of like gave a lot of depth to it. But it also stopped a lot of like talking over each other. We really didn't talk over each other that much. Like it was kind of
I
nice.
feel good about that because I have
Yeah.
a
we're
problem.
we're all really good at sex.
Communicated.
All right, let's wrap it on that. We're all really good at sex.
Yeah,
See you
we're-
later, guys.
Yeah,
right.
we're the Chad sex havers of the role playing
Delta Green
community.
Phantom.
I think this was probably in terms of like the amount of time I talk per game, the least I've talked in terms of a campaign, like because like
it's all
they're
about giving us enough rope to hang ourselves.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, obviously, like the conversation between Marley and Yersinia and Jurgen, like especially like this long, like either tense relationship talks or like tense are we gonna kill each other talks, you know, like
Yeah, there were a lot of good moments like that between like I mean, sorry to be the antagonist, but Yersinia, Jurgen, and then Ryan as well.
Yeah, the scene where Yersinia and Jurgen come to like understand each other might be one of like my top 2 or 3 favorites.
Yeah.
Oh,
of the
yeah.
whole fucking thing.
I honestly think like because around now, to spoil the timeline, I think episode 7 is dropping
early
recently.
access.
Yeah. And like so, looking back on just after the time jump stuff has been really interesting to get back because like even remembering that I was having a great time like from the beginning, but like that scenario, like I think it was 5 or 6 when like Jurgen is hunting us because Yersinia has the book was like really when this became something very special. Like it was a great time before then, but like that pivot point really like was an all-timer for me. Like great to watch, even just like
It was
you two killed it.
Want to bring something up there that I thought was really interesting having seen the rest of the campaign is that I think it was that same time like right when Jurgen was hunting us, it was either Ross or I think it was Ross who was like, here are player combat rules.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have to do this. And then once we got through the Jurgen thing, like rule things like that never came up again because I think there was sort of this tacit understanding, which was like, oh, okay, yeah, everybody's just here to tell a really good story.
Well, I mean, I know for me at that point in the campaign, I was like, I wanted to give the players the ability to engage in PvP if they felt like that was the way they wanted to go, but I didn't want metagaming for it, which I didn't think anybody, but I wanted to be absolutely clear, like very explicit,
Right.
like I don't want to be like, I wait till, Yersinia's asleep, then I shoot her in the head or whatever. Like I didn't want that. I wanted a confrontation, and like that was all I wanted, and everything else we'll see. But I just wanted, I didn't want anti-drama to happen. But like now that I know, like after that car, I was like, everyone is here. Like, I guess the biggest lesson for me as a GM after all these years is like, the campaign works best when everyone at the table is a fan of what everyone else is doing. So like not just the GM being a fan of the players and the players being a fan of the GM, but like player being a fan of what other players were doing. And like thinking back as a player, I really do like the other campaigns where like I could see that everyone was doing something interesting and having a good time.
Indispensable.
Yeah. And so you really need to make sure the players are fans of everyone else. and try like figure out what your players want and try and get each player to sort of produce that. So yeah, that player on player stuff is not something GMs think about a lot, but it's really important. Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like session 0 setup is something that I always love to see in either in games as like a published suggested part, or even just in like playing, like getting that setup in, I think gives a lot of good groundwork to build off of.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would have been completely different if we never did our session 0. Like,
yeah.
Well, I mean, would have been floundering.
Oh yeah, no, it
also,
would
like,
have been rough. Yeah.
The time jump kind of gives you 2 of those.
Yeah.
Because we have like we have a session 0 before, and then like the time jump is sort of a session 0 part 2.
Yeah, you can onboard what you've experienced and like make adjustments that would be good for the story now that we've sort of like sampled it. It's actually a pretty cool structure.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Anyway, Anyway, final advice: have your character become like just fatally obsessed with another character, and things turn out
lesbian
great.
if you can help it. That will always make it better.
Be good at sex.
Yeah.
So Faye, is this Yuri?
If you want to be supremely good at violence, just make sure that you play it in a way that it actually disempowers you instead of empowering.
Impossible Landscapes is my favorite Yuri story. Yes.
Yes, okay. This is Yuri.
Fair enough.
All right. I just want to make sure.
Well, okay. If we're being honest, the Yuri of Absence thing that's been going around has been like a direct parallel to what we find at the center of the Yellow King, which is, as it was described, the black hole at the center of everything. It is the both presence and absence of meaning. Absence of meaning in that there is an overabundance of meaning. So, I mean, yes, it is Yuri.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. If you want to look at the map, there is like on page 6, there's a map of the relationship between Carcosa and the real world, and there's just like it's at the center is the secret city and the palace.
If you can get a hold of a copy of this book in any form, just look at it. It's worth looking at.
It
Fellas,
is indeed.
Is it gay to see the yellow sign?
It's gay. Yeah,
it's extremely
very gay.
Yeah.
It's retroactively gay. Like it will have always had been gay.
Right. It turns you gay too. Also, if you want to go already.
Yeah, and it fucks with your gender. Confirmed.
Oh no!
All performance.
It's all performance. It's all a show. We're all been in a show. Thank you all so much for playing in this. Definitely a highlight of RPPR. Over all the years, one of the highlights.
It means a lot coming from you, Ross. I'm verklempt.
Yeah. We will be, like I said, I have an idea for a Gaiden side story, alternate ending for Impossible Landscapes type game that we hopefully we'll record at some point. Rob, you're working on a campaign for us as
eventually.
Yeah.
One day.
And
this is long-term plans, but keep keep a candle lit in the window, right? Like
obviously I'll be doing some more stuff in this vein, but I'll be thinking about it. I think my next campaign is going to be Public Access, which is an analog horror RPG about analog horror, like old public access TV stations with weird VHS tapes and stuff like that. And we'll see. I need to read that first, we'll kind of go from there. But I don't think I can run this campaign again because we did it. We did. Yeah, it's true. We did it correctly. We won. We really did. Yeah.
This is like usually I'm like, you can run campaigns multiple times, but with this campaign, that's been proven very untrue because we played it like correctly, like we did all of it. We squeezed all of the enjoyment out of it.
I'm going to hunt down people who try to play it again, like Marley hunting Yersinia at the end of time.
I've actually run the same campaign twice. I've run Mask of Nyarlathotep, and I feel I could see myself running it again because Mask of Nyarlathotep is a procedurally focused campaign. You have a goal, and there's many avenues to do this, and they've actually added a lot of materials to Mask of Nyarlathotep, and there's a lot of ways to add your own material to it, which I've done especially in the second run. But you can't this is it's all about the storytelling. This is the best possible story I could see myself doing.
Exactly.
It was the best possible cast and the best possible run of it. It's the best of all possible worlds. So thank you all so much for listening, and we'll be seeing you in the ballroom. Your invitation's in the mail.
Well, yeah, I mean the next. Well, that's the end of the play, but obviously, like, there's going to be another performance. So
Yeah.
you know,
and
it's
an
always,
after party. Yeah.
Yeah.
The after party is going to be really good. We'll see you in the smoking lounge. Yeah. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.